Hi there, wonderful awakening beings and spiritual souls. Jo Rose of JoRose.com, numerologist and energy forecaster. And in this video, I want to welcome baby Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor into our world. And this video, I'm going to share with you just a very brief part of his journey, what he's here for and what he's come with. So how do I do this? First of all, I look at his date of birth. He kept us waiting a bit, but he knew when he wanted to arrive, because the date of birth is key to the external influence and the forecasting that we have in store. He was born on the 6th of May 2019. And to work out the life path, and I have got a series on life path numbers. If you want to take a look, I'll share the link below or above. To work out the life path number, we add together the day, the month and the year. Now, some of you might add it the other way around, but it makes no difference what way around you add it, it will come to the same result. Now, what we do when we're adding the life path is we must reduce it to a single digit, unless it's a master number. So 6 is already reduced. May is the 5th month, so it's 5, that's already reduced. 2019, we would add together the 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9 equals 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3. So we would then add 6 plus 5 plus 3 equals 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5. So the life path that Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor has chosen for this lifetime is a 14-5. Let's just look at the 5 first. This is the number of the freedom-loving adventurer, the risk, white knuckle rides. It can be an addictive number, sex, drugs, rock and roll. It's really about exploring. What young Archie needs to do is to learn what he needs to explore and not over-explore. And he's a bit challenged on this because of this 14-5. Now, in his lifetime, he'll have many things that perhaps he wants to do, but he'll be restricted by the crown, by the royalty, by how he has to appear. So this is the 4. The 4 is very restricting, structured, and can feel confining. And he's got to learn to see his limitations and make them his strengths. He also has this 1 here. It's about his independence, his individuality. And we will see him at some point, because this 5 is all about out there and exploring, him wanting to step out and make us aware that he's an individual. It's quite interesting that he has been given the surname, because this is how I can look further into it, that he's not automatically been made a prince. So if we look at some of the other royals that haven't automatically been made an HRH, they have a little bit more freedom, and that works perfectly for Archie. Although I have heard that when Prince Charles becomes king, I believe he automatically becomes a prince. That might be one of his limitations he has to work on for his freedom. Maybe he can stand his ground and he doesn't want that. Who knows what he wants when he's old enough to make a decision. The other number we look at here, just for this particular information that I'm giving you, is the birthday, the day he was born, which was the 6th. Now, the life path is the external influence, and the birthday number is the support for this. So while he wants this freedom against the boundaries, to have his individuality there, he's got this 6, which is all about family and balance again. So I'm saying he's got to learn to work this out, but this 6 is there to help him. So family is very important for Archie as he grows up. And what else? It's also, so the 6 is very good for working through disputes. It's a very nurturing number. And when we see somebody with a 6, they're often here to help maybe parent the parents or parent the siblings, or at least nurture and guide people to become more balanced and understanding. Let's just move on, because this 6 is going to come up again for Archie. So let's move on to the name, and the numbers we're looking at for the name is the expression number. So that's the traits, that's what's the tools he's come with. The heart desire or soul urge number, that's his motivation number. and also the personality number. That's how we show up. So to the outside world, just before I explain that, let me just explain the name here. So what I've got here is his name, Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor. And all the vowels, you'll see, I've put the number in green above each of the names. All the consonants I've put below. So the vowels will tell me his heart's number. The consonants will tell me his personality number. And the combination of both will tell me his expression number. What I want to look at first is his personality. Now, the personality number is the number that we are seen as. It's like our armor, how we show up first before we let anybody in to see what our heart's number is. And you could say it's the veil before we let somebody in. And it's interesting that the personality number for Archie is an 8. So it's all about power. It's classed as the number of wealth and money. And certainly the royal family would fit into this category. So people see him as a powerful, influential, possibly intimidating energy. And the 8 must learn to balance spiritual and material. And we'll come to that in a minute, because he's got an interesting awareness number or maturity number, which is very spiritual. So life's lessons is going to be teaching Archie a few things that as he develops and gets into adulthood, matures, his perspective will alter. So to the outside world, he appears as very affluent, wealthy, very strong, very powerful, even as a baby, as a child, because he's in the royal family. That comes without saying. Not all royal families are born with that as their personality. Next, I want to share with you his motivation is a heart number, and that here is a 16-7. And what I found very interesting about this, the 16-7 was his grandmother, Princess Diana's number, and also his great-grandmother's, Queen Elizabeth II, has as his 16-7 as a life path. And I didn't realise that the Queen and Princess Diana had the same life path until I took a look at these numbers. So what does this mean for his motivation? The heart number, if we are not listening to this number, it will deter us or stop us or cause procrastination in whatever we're doing, because this is what we're passionate about. This is what motivates us. So the 7 is all about the intellect. It's about the mind, knowledge and insight. To start off with, we will see the logical side, and perhaps everything will need to be backed up with science. What happens here is this number shows that he's prepared to take risks, but this number is the least risk taker. But it's a great combination. While this one won't take the risk, this one will. So if this one collects all the information, when I say this one, if he allows himself to collect enough information, he will be able to make strong decisions that will work for him. Now, it's not just a 7, a bit like here, the Karmic deck, the 14-5, he's got a 16-7 as another Karmic deck. This is the number of the philosopher. So bearing in mind, I told you he's going to do a lot of researching. He will be challenged with this way or this way, and maybe finding himself sitting on the fence if he can't make a decision. So it's about seeing two sides or both sides to everything. And this will help him with regards to this 6 he's got here. As you see, he's going to have another 6 here in a second. But this 16-7 is about, again, first of all, the self and the family. So what's important to him? Perhaps he will help Meghan with regards to her siblings and her father. And perhaps through the baby, there can be some form of reconciliation, because it will be important to him with this 6, this insight that he has, this philosophical insight, and the power that perhaps he may show. What did I want to say about this 16-7? Oh yes, so to start off, I believe he'll be very much into the science, but later on, he will move more from his head into his heart, more from his logic into his intuition. And I know that because of this awareness, this maturity number down here, this 11-2. And we get to this number by adding together the life path number and the expression number, and we get to this number. Now, let's go to the expression number. It's the same as his birthday number. It's a 6 energy, and this is all about justice and honesty. This is about family, nurture, and it's the cosmic parent, it's the caregiver. The fact that mum and dad and uncle and aunt are involved in the mental health, I don't want to say industry, but in making us become more aware of the need to understand the mental health, I believe that Archie is going to be a strong advocate for their programs, and if not, there's some of his own here, because this is a very caring number. He has a conflict with the 5, 6, 7 and 8, and if he can learn to balance these, he will have the structure and the power of the royal family with the compassion of the people. The awareness number that comes in roughly from 35 onwards is an 11-2. So this is when he will become more in his heart, more in his intuitive state than in his logical state. I feel that this young man has got a very challenging and interesting journey ahead of him, but if he learns to master the boundaries with the individuality for freedom, these numbers can give him everything that he desires. Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor, I wish you an amazing journey. I can't wait to see you develop and grow into a young man that will certainly be able to make the differences that we need to see in the world today. One more thing I want to say is, I've said he's got this conflict with the numbers, and he needs to learn, because a number either side being the opposite, if he can learn the information either side of this, he can make them his strength. The 5 that he has as a life path is risk-taking and diverse. It's all about change. Let's do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. And it can be very addictive. So bearing in mind he's got this 8 number here, he's into quality, his appearance. And you may be saying, well, he's a royal. Yes, he is. But if he's being shown to, or overspending or overindulging, this is where it's not going to feel balanced, because he's got to learn to balance the spiritual and the material. This is how I've looked at Archie's name. This is how you would look at your own name. So if you would like to have a reading, please do get in touch with me, as I do readings, and I'm told they're exceptionally good. So this is what I'm told. I certainly live by my numbers. It really helps me understand who I am. And if Archie's parents can work with this, they will understand who he is and let go of what he's fighting in order to be himself. And perhaps you, by understanding your numbers, can let go of what you're fighting, what you're suppressing, in order to be yourself. Because at the end of the day, we all wish Archie an amazing life ahead of him, as we did for our own children and as was done for ourselves. The best way to do that is to follow your numerology. I hope you found this interesting and insightful. Get in touch, give me a thumbs up if you like it, please share and subscribe. I'm currently doing the Life Path series, and I will go on to one of the other series of numbers in due course. I love sharing this with you, and I love your comments, so please keep them coming. And until then, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.